Sony welcomes you to today's big AFL game, bringing you all the action in high definition.
Probing kick, a beauty. Richo had a bounce on his chest. Richo is down and bleeding profusely. Well, it's safe to assume the footy didn't do that to Richardson.
That eye is going to need a lot of work on it. So Richardson off for an extended time, you would think.
Well, Matthew Richardson won't have happy memories of his last visit here to AAMI Stadium. That was round 7 last year. Andrew Cracker, his teammate, accidentally kicked him in the face, fractured his eye socket, broke his nose, and they said he'd be out for 6 weeks. Well, Richo turned up the following week against Essendon, went on to play every game last season and won the best and fairest by 1 vote from Nathan Foley. So that was fortuitous for him. The toss of the coin. And the Tigers have won the toss, and they are going to be kicking to the left of screen, which is favoured by perhaps a 2 to 3 goal advantage. And, well, Richo, his 269th game, 8th at the club. If he plays every game this year and next, he reaches 300. It's a big ask, but in the form he's in, well, no one would write him off. As we go down to Rowan Smith.
Well, thanks very much, John. Well, when we arrived here in Adelaide today, there was a lot of showers about, but I tell you what, boys, blue skies is the order now. So perfect conditions, as you said, John. Maybe a 2 to 3 goal advantage down to the left-hand end of screen, but not much at all. Looking forward to this game. Both teams need a win, desperate for a win. So have a great call, boys.
Thanks, Randy, because it is the winter today, the shortest day of the calendar year. So enjoy the sun while it lasts down there. And for Brett Ebert, his first game, passing the last 3 after injury late in the match against the Swans 9. He kicked 6 in that game, and then he played against Richmond. He kicked 6 goals as well and picked up 1 Brownlow vote. So he's going to be an important inclusion for Port Adelaide today. As we get set to go from AAMI Stadium, Alapati Carlisle shadowing Matthew Richardson to start. A big ask, but Carlisle perhaps in the best form of any of Port Adelaide's defenders. Brogan hard out, a quick kick out of the congestion from Matt Thomas, who's also made his way into the team this week. Kasisi help Pearce, sidesteps one, measures the pass, intelligently looking for Robbie Gray, knocked off the ball. Good recovery from Richmond, although McGuan's lost control of it. Now out in the open momentarily. Kasisi in hard again, wrapped up by multiple Richmond tacklers.
You mentioned Carlisle going to Matthew Richardson, and Chad Corns has started in defence for Port Adelaide as well. We talked about where we want to see Chad Corns playing. He's starting in defence today on clear views at the minute.
Brogan decisively wins it down. David Roden, been busy all season, brings it around. The fans behind the goals like it. Port have kicked the first in 50 seconds.
We reckon, Pickers, it would be important for Port here at home today, having such a poor record, 1 out of 6, I think, to get a good start. They efficiently got it in, ball dropped, but Roden, he's just, you picked him, he's as much an inside winner as he is an outside finisher.
It was important too, he finished the game off strongly last week against Geelong. This is clearly their best player in the last quarter, and a great way to start, continue on that form for Dave Roden.
Well, David Roden given away by Richmond after his knee reconstruction in 05. Played every game last year for Port Adelaide and was top 6 in their best and fairest. He's come back to haunt the Tigers early here. Again, Port Adelaide get the ball in their direction. Treadray out strongly. Again, Pearce involved. Measures the pass, even on the end of it.
There's a good, both those small boys in the pockets are both very good overhead, aren't they? Eber's very strong overhead, as well as having a good ground ability.
Yeah, very, very strong hands. Calvin Moore, who's been in good form. He's only conceded multiple goals a couple of times this year. Been one of the stars of the Richmond defence this year.
20 goals, 10 this season. Ebert looked a little ring rusty there as he drags it across the face of goal. Telling mark has been taken by McGuan. Short pass on for Simmons. So too Joel Bowden, the birthday boy. Turns 30 today, Joel Bowden. Short to Richardson. 18 marks last week along with 21 possessions.
Oh.
His disposal only barely getting to Nathan Foley. And Port Adelaide trying to force Richmond laterally. Now they find an open man. It's Shane Tuck. Well known to the South Australian supporters here after playing with West Adelaide. Simmons again nurses it forward. Nathan Brown couldn't take the mark. Bowden comes again, upended there strongly by Thomas. Nathan Brown had nothing to go to, tried to create something, picked off by Peter Burgoyne, and he sets Pearce free again. Took them on, Logan in support. Now it's Sean Burgoyne. Multiple options. Pass wasn't the best. Treadray is there. Good running on the overlap from Salopek, who goes to Ebert once more. Well, they look $1 million at the moment.
They certainly do. The Tigers can't really get their hands on the ball.
And pressure has been good. I mean, Nathan Brown got himself into awful trouble because the pressure kept coming. It was about the 5th or 6th application of pressure, which eventually saw a turnover by hand. The interesting thing, you called it well before the game, Pickers. Chaplin is the first to take Richardson in the middle of the ground.
Brett Ebert, 24-year-old, comes in. 40 metres out directly in front. Port Adelaide have kicked the first 2. Port Adelaide kicked 9 goals, 3 against Richmond in the first quarter the last time they played. They're off to a flyer here. 2 goals in the first 4.5 minutes. And Brogan goes hard up against Simmons. Cassisi sold into trouble, shrugs a Matt White tackle. Now it's Pearce coming up for disposal number 4, the most in the game. Not really a good one for Sean Burgoyne. And now a chance for Mitch Morton to get Richmond forward. Delidio trying to track it down. Corns, that's Chad Corns, gets rid of him. Dancing on the boundary line, kept it alive. Went with the outside of the right foot and it falls for Troy Chaplin. Eventually he reels it in. Roden, well, having ball handling problems as well, but he leads the AFL in running bounces. And he's picked up a couple early here as well. Just dancing around Joel Bowden. Good creative work from the Roden runner. Beat as he marches forward. Kick not the best though. Richardson there, Tambling. And now Richmond look to clear the danger zone.
It is good to see players take the game on like that.
Remarkable. It really was, Pickers. I mean, he took about 5 on and beat the lot. Just had a crook kick in the finish, didn't finish the great work.
Mitch Morton plays on quickly. Carlisle getting back with a fingernail on that just to prevent a mark. Running into the goal though, Nathan Brown. Well, it's taken 6 minutes, but Richmond get there first. Nathan Brown kicked 3 goals last week. That's number 23 for the season. He did lead the Western Bulldogs twice in their goal-kicking award while he was there. Dean Brogan averages 19 hit-outs per game. Number 7 in the AFL. Will go at it here against Troy Simmons. Decisive tap. Tuck bustled off the ball. Brogan came again. Kane Corns to Daniel Pearce. Shut down effectively by Tambling. Foley breaks one tackle, releases Tuck, slow hand pass. Now it's Bowden for Tambling. He's putting together a fine month of football, Tambling, perhaps his best of his career, and now it's Kelvin Moore.
Have to get in the line here.
He's undecided. Ebert puts some pressure on. He has to retreat to the back pocket. Bowden coming back for Kelvin Moore.
Simmons is trying to be the longer option here on the centre wing. Porter just holding their zone here.
They're making real hard work of getting out their back 50, Richmond. This is a real struggle at the moment.
Polak often running with a bounce. Indiscriminate kick though. Port Adelaide with numbers. Salopek, handball over the top of Treadray. Ebert all alone, but Treadray likes his chances and makes no mistake.
Well, that's one of the worst options. Now, I'm not sure whether it's the option that he took or whether it was just a very, very poor kick. He disfilled. That's interesting.
Umpire Gary Feeler about to restart. Treadray gets his first of the afternoon. Roden trying to draw a free kick. Bustled off the ball. Can't win the approval of the umpire.
Well, there's real intensity here. I think we've already seen the meaning of this particular performance to both clubs. They are absolutely committed, both sides.
Brogan, Cassisi, stole it away. Thomas with problems. Logan involved. Cassisi close quarters. Kane Corns, and now it's Boak. Carlisle dodges one tackle, goes out wide. Chaplin. Motlop leads to the pocket. They go to him. Had the sun in his eyes. Hack from behind. Can't win a whistle. And Richmond clear to Richardson.
I reckon that the Port Adelaide, when Richardson's playing on Chaplin, Port Adelaide will try and use Chaplin.
Poor kick from Richardson, picked off by Brogan. Peter Burgoyne about to be tackled from behind, is holding the ball.
We noticed this a few times last week against Geelong, that they put a lot of time and effort into chasing Peter Burgoyne down from behind. They've done it already here, Richmond.
Foley with the quick kick away. Scooped up well by Revolt. Running onto it is Trent Cotchin, the rising star from last week, continues on with his good form. Well, Trent Cotchin certainly knows how to find it as well. He started on the bench here. He's now kicked goals in 5 of his 6 games as we go to Rowan Smith.
Well, boys, they're just at the back of, we can't see it here on the screen, but at the back of Matty Richardson's right hamstring is as black as the ace of spades. Have a look at that bruise, boys. So just been noticing he's limping a little bit at this stage. So I'm just going to keep my eye on that right hamstring of Matty Richardson's.
Well, those career high disposals are starting to wear out the big man. He's had it so much.
It's a big cork. That black bruise. There's a big bruise in his hamstring.
Well, you wouldn't be playing if it was a tear, obviously. No. So that's a hell of a... Somebody's kicked him very hard in the back of the leg.
Port rebounding off their half-back line. Peter Burgoyne gets it out wide. Poor disposal. Tigers looking to clear and do so now through Nathan Brown. With a bounce. No one inside their attacking 50. Revolt the target. Now they stream forward. Richardson, Cotchin, and out wide. They bring the ball now to find Cleve Hughes.
Good forward, hard running by the Tigers there. Looking at the turnover from Port across half-back. They've set up a couple of really good runs out of half-back, Richmond, early in this match. So have Port. Port have been running and carrying a bit as well.
Cleve Hughes, well known to South Australians, played with Norwood, was captain of South Australia's under-18 team when he was an All-Australian. And that looks good off the boot. Richmond get back-to-back goals for the first time today. Cleve Hughes playing his first game since round 2. Only shown his 7 games last season and finished in the Coburg reserves at the end of last season. Big things expected of him. Brogan went up high against Patterson. Here's Cassisi wrapped up in a tackle. We haven't got it out of the centre circle.
Just really interesting that Delidio's pushed forward, and Kane Corns is his marker this afternoon. He's now pushing back onto the ball, but when he goes deep into the full forward, which really suits Delidio, Corns is going with him as well. Not sure it suits. Well, I'm not sure it suits Kane Corns to be playing out of the goal square.
Cotchin losing out to Cassisi, who went down, pushed in the back, according to the umpire.
It's been one of their problems, hasn't it? That they want to use Kane Corns more of an initiator and a productive player rather than just a run with.
Chaplin, 49 metres out, set sail for home. Got the carrier now rushed through. First minor score of the game after 6 straight goals. Port Adelaide lead by that point. This is Matt White coming out wide to find Jared Oakley-Nichols. Shut down by Gray. Took a long time deciding and then came up with a poor decision. Salopek. Thomas had a piece of it. Kane Corns. Now Roden looks into the pocket for Robbie Gray, who snuck in behind his defender, but it's rushed over by Kelvin Moore.
Well, they're trying hard, John, aren't they, to give them a couple of freebies. I've never seen long kicks like that given back to the opposition in the corridor so consistently early in a game.
Nathan Brown took it from Patterson. Not a lot on offer, has to slow it down. And now to the run of Trent Cotchin.
7-1 the clearance count we saw on the screen then. Favourite Port, an area they were okay against Geelong. They just didn't get a lot of effectiveness from their clearances.
Richmond work it forward. McMahon deep. Chad Corns couldn't mark it. Here's Peter Burgoyne working onto the left foot. And Salopek. Well-weighted kick for Travis Boak, who has time to make an error. Now needs to clean up. comes to Wilson, who goes out wide once more. The defenders keep running. Salopek to the lead of Treadray. Works onto the left boot, gets it on quickly, and the mark taken by Brendan Lay.
Well, somebody made the point before the game, John, that maybe I think it was Rowan Smith, should be played forward, and certainly with his size, height and ability, he's going to pose a problem for any of them they can find down there to match up on him.
It's been a changing of the guard, I think you'll find in recent weeks, Parko, with Brogan doing a lot more work at the centre square, and Lade spending a lot more time on the interchange bench, but they can get a little bit more out of him in the forward line. I think you're right. Gives him another potent target up forward, because he's a good finisher normally.
6 goals for the season so far. Hasn't kicked a goal for 3 weeks, though. Lade comes in, splits the centre. Port Adelaide lead by 8 points. Started on the bench, Brendan Lade, having an immediate impact. Top 10 in the best and fairest last year, and the best and fairest winner 2006. Adam Patterson into the ruck against Lade, who had to sit and wait. Kasisi giving away a free kick going into the back of Matt White there. Richmond allowed to play on. Nathan Brown takes the mark ahead of Matt Thomas.
The numbers pushing back here from Port. He's trying to clog up his forward line. He's a beautiful kick, this bloke.
Brown from 60 unloads. Goal of the day. Second goal of the first term for Nathan Brown. Back to a 2-point ball game. 18 minutes played here in the first quarter. Laid up high. Took out Patterson in the process, who's slow to recover. Chasing it down. Polak did well there. The big man, and now releases the ball to Shane Tuck.
We talked about the clearance work around the ground. Well, they're 6-1 out of the centre, Port Adelaide, at the moment, so they're dominating Lade and Brogan.
Sean Burgoyne with a tremendous smother, but it comes to nothing. There to clean up is Luke McGuan. And the Tigers pressing again here. Tuck driving deep to the goal square.
Free kick, Morton.
The free kick going to the Tigers, according to umpire Gary Feeler.
I think you'll find the umpire has said that he's taken his eyes off the ball here, gone straight at Mitch Morton. And we can have a look. The eyes went off, and that's probably a fair call. That's a free kick.
Could have it both ways, I reckon. Have the back of the head from Corns and the front of the head from Carlisle. It's interesting. It's still, I think, 11-7 inside 50. So, in fact, in general play, you'd think Port have created a multitude of entries.
Been very accurate this season, Mitch Morton. 11 goals, 5 so far in 2008. Makes no mistake, the Tigers in front for the first time today. Mitch Morton now with goals in 7 of his 8 matches in 2008. And a multiple goal kicker on 5 of those occasions. Struggled with the West Coast, played only 12 games in 3 years, but he's still only 21. And he looks like he has a lot of upside for the Tigers, who have a 4-point lead as we enter time on, term number 1. Patterson did a good job to get Richmond going forward once more. Well, the hand pass, not the best. Put Hyde under pressure. Tuck has to come and clean up. His left foot a little short of the money as well.
Let's get down to Rowan Smith. Now, Smithy, you picked up a little bit of treatment, or what you'd say, a little bit of hard stuff on Trent Cotchin.
Yeah, Piggers, Port Adelaide have just noticed a difference between Trent Cotchin. Michael Wilson's just on him now, but Nick Lower was just getting into him before. So just giving him a little bit more attention than what he received in the last couple of weeks.
Tigers hard at it again. Strong tackle from Nick Lower.
Not happy either, Troy Simmons. That was what you call, it's a good, fair, hard tackle on a very strong bloke in Simmons, but that's what you want. That's a good intent to tackle.
Well, Nick Lower put himself about against Geelong last week. Continue on with it here. This is Patterson. Wilson missed the tackle. Kane Corns, his hand pass missed the target as well.
Well, she's pretty tight just at this minute, isn't it? This game has reached the stage where there's nothing much in it. Winning these contests right now, Pickers, is absolutely crucial.
Laid up high. Taps it in Port Adelaide's direction. Tuck first man there, though, with the support of White. Foley knocked over, disposing of the ball, laid back strongly. Looks for the corridor. And the run of Carlisle. Now it's Logan. Peter Burgoyne. Wheeling and dealing. Gets around Morton now with a bounce. He's third in the AFL in running bounces. So happy to do the job again. Robbie Gray runs onto the ball. Motlop, goal side of his opponent. Works to the front, an intelligent mark.
The boy was coming back. I know it was McGuan, was coming back to try and make body contact. So he just jumped over him. Just a little jump over him. And took the ball. I mean, that's a rare ability to be able to actually, in that situation, time your jump, land the right button, still catch the ball.
Kicked 5 goals, 1 against the Tigers the last time he saw them. Gets off to a good start here. Port Adelaide back in front.
Going forward.
A combined 10 goals, 2 to start the game. It's a tremendous match, Rowan.
Yeah, it is, John. And Chad Corns has just come from the bench, just complaining of a lower calf injury. So I'm not too sure. I'm not a physio, so I don't know what that's called, whether it's a soleus or something like that. But the physios are just checking him out at the moment.
A soleus it is. That's the deep muscle underneath the calf.
There you go, Pargay.
Yeah, see, you're a man of all trades, David.
Professor Tambley gets the ball to find Simmons. Now it's Tuck.
Been good, Tuck. First quarter.
Ball up for grabs. Logan went in hard. Mitch Morton over the top.
Logan should have been. I think he was in, got over the ball and got just dropped on by everybody. If that wasn't a free, I've never seen one.
So 10 disposals already, Tuck.
And he had a competition high 11 clearances last week for the Tigers. He's in great form. Here's Roden. Again, good acceleration. Jordan McMahon goes with him. Kane Corns still in the defensive 50. Paddles it around. Treadray. Only as far as Patterson. Tuck again.
Not sure he was aiming there.
No, he whacked this too.
Nathan Brown's already kicked 2 goals.
Oh, this is 5 metres closer than the last one. John, so to go through, post high.
Just love the way he just gets off his angle, see it opens it up for his natural swing.
3 goals last week against the Demons. That's right to the goal square, but a minor score. The first of the match for Richmond.
Apoplector, that one. A bloke who doesn't know his ability and should have lobbed it short in the 10-yard square.
Well, I read he's probably within his rights after his last goal.
Should have. That's right. We backed him.
Chaplin looks for the lead of Treadray. Got good separation on Polak. Good depth for the left foot kick from Motlop. McGuan right there with him, doing a good job initially. Salopek knocked down with some problems. Held to him, according to umpire Gary Feeler.
Well, I don't know that we expected, but we're getting a bit of a shootout, aren't we? I don't mind this because I reckon there's enough intensity, pressure being applied defensively to make it interesting. But it's a it's goal-scoring game. They're taking it on.
We'll enjoy it while it lasts, David.
You got predictions, John, have you?
There's Roden. Good pass. Motlop dropped what he should have taken.
This is where they've been dangerous, the Tigers, on the rebound here.
2-on-1, they work it out. The mark taken by Brown.
It's amazing he's able to take that without any body pressure at all.
Richardson on a long lead.
A little empty forward line here if they can get it in quick before the cavalry arrives. Morton.
Richardson looks for Morton. Well-weighted kick. He wants to play on quickly as well. Works around the body. Never looked like missing his second. Well, Mitch Morton kicking the last 2 goals for the Tigers. And for the 6th time this season in 8 games, he's a multiple goal kicker. Richmond by 5 points. Seesawing affair, 3 lead changes already. Tick over 27 minutes played. Term number 1 laid. This time the jump, still got the tap. Somehow got it out of there as well. But it's Tuck with another clearance. Going deep. Revolt. Good contest. Spills free. Lurking onto the loose ball. Cleave Hughes has kicked a goal.
Well, the Tigers have actually won the last 3 centre square clearances. Now, a bloke who won't get a lot of kudos in this passage of play is Rewalt. Now, look at that contest. They were pushing back hard on him. He was able to get it to the front, which is exactly where you want to get it. That's where Cleve Hughes knew it to go. That was the whole idea. Fantastic bit of play.
It was. It's cool. He could have gone for the mark. He was in a bit of position, could have ridden up on him, and he actually put it in the pathways, mate. But the one before, Tucker, you nominated a minute ago, is killing them at this stage out of the centre.
Well, Richmond have got their highest scoring first quarter of the year. 7-1. They kicked 7-4 in the first quarter the last time they played Port Adelaide. Still got a tick over 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. Tamblin getting involved. Now a chance for Polo. Matt White not favoured by the bounce, but has enough time to come back. Now he measures the pass, looking for Richardson. Plays on. Richo goes to work, stabbed at it, but got the accuracy. It's an 8-goal opening turn from Richmond.
What a wonderful bit of play again from the Tigers. And great running by Richardson, but the kick by Matty White was absolutely sensational. Now, he was under a bit of pressure here. He just waited it over Troy Chappell. Not a lot he could do there. And Richo, summing up his opponent, has slipped over. Probably better than going back out and a set shot, Parker, in fairness.
But this is what he used to do when he couldn't kick them. This year he's kicking them. So you think, I actually expected him to go back, not run on. But wonderful all-round effort.
Well, the Tigers haven't had a lot of joy against Port Adelaide in recent years, but they've now come up with their highest ever first quarter score against Port Adelaide. 8-1 in the first term. They hold a 17-point lead after Port Adelaide led by as many as 12 earlier in the contest. Wilson for Salopek. They're a little shell-shocked at the moment, Port Adelaide. Peter Burgoyne for Tredrea. Good solid mark.
Centre square clearance was 7-5. It was 6-1 Port Adelaide's favour. The last 4 centre bounces have all been Richmond.
Wilson on the wraparound, 70 metres from home, works it to the top of the square. Richardson getting back. Robbie Gray in traffic, took one high, goes unwhistled. Kane Corns got a good look at them, brings it back and breaks the drought for Port Adelaide.
And sadly, that came off a Simmons hand pass. I mean, they only about 3 of their 6 goals, I reckon, Port have been scored on direct mistakes by you watch.
Well,
Simmons
he couldn't handle it any better to him.
Couldn't
really.
get it, yeah. Even where he was going, even to help him on his way, didn't even have to stop to recover it.
Yeah, that's disappointing. They've been so good. And Kane Corns getting involved, that's the last thing Richmond need. He's a very good player, Kane Corns.
Well, 14 goals here in the first term. We've played 31 minutes and we still have time for more. 1:57 left on the clock. Brogan back into the ruck. Roden trying to draw a free kick. Tangle of arms and legs, and now we'll need another restart.
Looks a bit sore,
Yes,
Chad Corns,
I was just saying the same thing. He's struggling.
It's either high up in the Achilles or very low under the calf, as you quite rightly said, Parko, the soleus.
Oh, might be the gastrocnemius, but I'm not sure.
Roden knocked down, going nowhere after Brogan had found him with the tap. And a free kick going to Richmond.
Gee, they've tidied up in this area, though. In the last 15 minutes of the quarter. Oh, this is very good play by the Tigers. Left footer too.
Chris Hyde, 52 metres out, set sail for home, and Richmond have kicked 9 in the first term. Chris Hyde gets in on the act. Richmond had the highest scoring first quarter in the AFL this year. 9 goals won. And there you see the wrap into the ribs for his trouble as well.
Never hurts quite as much when you've kicked a goal.
I think it gave him time to lie and have a quick look at the scoreboard and see the replay. I think he was allowed to lie down and do that.
Oh, we have a shootout. Cassisi to drive Port Adelaide inside their attacking 50. The mark taken by Kelvin Moore. Little over a minute to play. Polak. Use Bowden.
They've got loose players on this side of the ground. They can use McGuire, who's going to be the next kick.
Moore looking in the other direction.
Well,
now he comes back to Bowden.
the corridor. Matty White's been there, Matthew White. Pretty much on his own, really. Now he's got Roden as an opponent.
Well, they've got a man up here.
Well, Newman's pushed up, and they've got loose players on the centre wing, which is Hughes. I don't know what Port are doing, but they're not finding a man.
Well, this is crazy stuff, isn't it? Everybody complains about the method of play, but it's completely decided by the team that doesn't have the ball.
Well, Cochin's pushed forward now. But they'll end up getting a shot at goals here because I don't think Port have switched on.
Ebert provided a contest. Jared Oakley-Nichols works onto the loose ball. Didn't come up with a good decision, though, holding the ball as Matt Thomas supplies the tackle.
That was bad choices, bad decision-making then by McMahon. He needed to get the first one away.
Well, it has been a very entertaining opening quarter from Amy Stadium. A 15-goal opening term. Richmond, with the highest scoring first quarter of 2008, kicked 9 goals, won. Port Adelaide 6-2. And after Port Adelaide led by 2 goals after just 8 minutes of action, it's the Tigers by 17 points at quarter time. Entertaining opening quarter from Amy Stadium. A combined 15 goals have been kicked. And Richmond with the highest first quarter in the AFL this year. That must please their assistant coach, Brian Royal, who's down on the boundary line with Rowan Smith.
Well, Brian, a 9-goal opening quarter, you'd have to be happy with that.
Yeah, we just felt if we could actually get it inside our 50 enough, yeah, we'll certainly, our forwards are going to dominate their backs.
A couple of areas were hurting you just at the start. We're kicking the ball back in the middle and turning it over, and your clearances.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we realise that. We've spoken to the guys about if we can clean up our foot efficiency, particularly, as you said, come back in the corridor and start to get our hands on the footy around clearances as we did later in the game. It's probably going to help us going forward as well.
Did you think it was going to be such a free-flowing game?
Not really. We thought Port would come at us early, and they certainly did, but the game did open up.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Vinny.
Thanks, Rowan. Port Adelaide kicked 3 of the first 4 goals, but Richmond 4 of the last 5. They lead it by 17 points.
Look at the numbers there, and I mean the major stats that we've highlighted. Richmond's marks, which means they're chipping and running, they're finding some space. Port Adelaide actually are dominating the clearances, but Richmond made a real impact in the second half of that first quarter, Parko. But the inside 50s, you see 16-13 in favour of Port Adelaide, 13 entries for 9 goals for the Tigers.
That's incredible forward efficiency. I noticed the assistant coach, Brian Royal, was saying we predicted that. Had we get it in, we'll dominate their backs. Well, in fact, that was the reality, because when they did get it in clean, with no sitting back behind the play from Port, they were absolutely outclassed them.
They're hunting the contest at the moment, Richmond, which is great. Shane Tucks led the way, 13 disposals, 4 contested possessions and 4 inside 50s. What a great first quarter.
That's backing up after being the best players last week as well. Underway, term number 2 from Amy Stadium. Port Adelaide with the use of the breeze in this term, although kicking goals into the breeze, obviously not a problem.
Just back out this way, guys. There's plenty of room behind. Come straight back out. Eyes up, face
Umpire Justin Schmidt. Day job as a lawyer. Gets us back underway. Roden first to it. Sean Burgoyne goes back to Roden. And there he is, off with a bounce again. This time unstuck, though. Cassisi almost giving away a free kick that went unwhistled. Holding the ball decision is now going against the Tigers.
Well, we love Roden's bouncing, but he often bounces it twice at about 16 metres, and that second time he did 2 in a row and lost possession.
I like this, though. Releasing, gets Sean Burgoyne into the game. It hasn't had an impact at all so far.
Kelvin Moore went high, missed the mark. Chaplin grabs the loose ball, works on the kick and comes up with the finish.
It's really important that Troy Chaplin can do this. Exactly right. He's got the role when he's in the midfield, which we mentioned, Parko. He's got the role on Richardson. Now, Richo can hurt you one way, but if Troy Chaplin can push forward himself and kick some goals, all of a sudden it makes Matthew Richardson a little bit more accountable, and he can't just do what he wants. He can't float behind the ball. He actually has to play on his opponent.
Very smart. I don't know much about his footy nous, but that was, he just got off at the right time, found time and space and whacked it through. Terrific effort.
Troy Chaplin with just his second goal of 2008. Kicked his first 6 weeks ago. Port will take anything they can get at the moment as they slice Richmond's lead back to 11. Simmons are up high. Heavy weather for the ball. Foley involved.
I mentioned earlier about Sean Burgoyne. Hasn't had a real impact at the moment. He's had 5 touches, but they haven't been quality, only one inside 50. But if you can get him into the game, Port Adelaide, quality player and a very good ball user.
There he was trying to bust a pack. Jordan McMahon retreating to Tambling. Handball missed the target. Chaplin came through. Jordan McMahon to clean up again to Richardson.
Oh, that's just what we call dangerous. Idea was right. Execution ordinary.
Sean Burgoyne going in strongly as well.
You've called it. It's a fascinating contest. You take time to look at the Chaplin-Richardson variation of what they're doing as soon as the ball changes hands. It's just a really fascinating contest within this contest.
Hayden Kennedy, AFL's most experienced umpire, restarts. Here's Daniel Pearce getting onto the loose ball. Pettigrew hasn't seen a lot of it so far. In fact, his first touch to Brogan. That's almost 50. Handball over the top to Wilson. He drives inside the attacking 50. Treadray caught behind. Polak tracked down the ball. Treadray second ever a good one. Robbie Gray, who can be mercurial in a confined space, went back to the captain. Treadray for Cassisi. Now he gets the chance to measure the shot, but that's well up the money. A minor score.
He's better than that, Pick, isn't he? I mean, I thought he was a class act with his feet, but that, with time and space, he just absolutely butchered it.
Joel Bowden restarts. McGuan in the back pocket. Wants to switch play.
Chasing Tuck around now.
Kelvin Moore.
It's a good kick. That's a very good kick.
To the run of Polak. A bounce on centre wing. And now has the Tigers going forward with good fluency. Mitch Morton on a long lead. Wants to play on. 55 out and closing. That's not his best effort. He's missed a lot.
Well, that was a boy who's, I think, got a rush of blood and was going to try and do it all himself. He didn't look for any other option other than he was going to finish it, and it was a very, very difficult task.
Brogan, handball over the top for Chaplin, who has Peter Burgoyne in support. Kick set up in the air. Boak has to track it back. Tandling there with him, but Boak puts on the Jets. Good effort in the finish there coming from Jared Oakley-Nicholas, just to push him off the kick and force the error. Tigers with numbers in the corridor. Jordan McMahon played here in South Australia with Glenelg. Chaplin had the run of it initially. Now Revolt has 2 to beat. Pettigrew comes across to relieve the pressure for Port Adelaide. Peter Burgoyne in the centre circle. Undecided. Now looks to go long. Motlop caught behind. Use of the body was good. McGuan wanted a free kick.
I reckon you'll find he pushed him in the side.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good if he did.
I reckon he did, but I want to get a better angle. Yeah, that's probably the left hand may have been around.
Well called, John. Well called, John. We two doubting Thomases on your right that didn't agree with you.
Yeah, and again, then looking at that angle, maybe. Well, maybe there was a little.
Well, you've got to be allowed to attempt the mark. I reckon that's a push is a push is a push.
Yeah, fair enough.
Motlop. One straight so far this afternoon. Gets the job done. Port have picked the first 2 of term number 2.
I don't agree with that. I just think if he's got front position, he cannot be pushed out. At no stage could he actually make a contest with the man. I would argue that strongly that that's a bad interpretation of the rule.
Chad Corns back on the ground and push forward.
Brogan doing the ruck work, beaten to it this time by Simmons, who got it down for Polo. Richardson did a good job to release it to Matt White. The Tigers going forward impressively as well.
And good to see Richardson in the middle of that, actually thinking it through and releasing the ball with his hands to set it up very well, which is not one of his great assets.
Matt White, not Matt White, obviously the kick from Matt White was very good, but the Travis Boak effort on Richardson was a bit ordinary. Travis Boak actually half left his man Matthew White. He half went to him to half go to Richardson, which all it did really was he was never going to. You either had to go hard at Richardson
or sit back and wait
for his man. Yeah.
Well, Cleve Hughes has a career high of 3 goals in the AFL. That's his 3rd kick of the day, and he's sprayed it now with 2 goals won.
Well, after the first one, which looked, John, extremely convincingly, that was at the other end of the screen.
So now we see here, I was looking at the replay. See, he sort of half went to him, and then what it did was it exposed his direct opponent. White.
Yeah, it made no contact with either player, really, in the finish.
Wilson restarts, goes out wide for Kane Corns, and has given away a free kick, getting into the back of Delidio. McMahon, close quarters. The Tigers pressing again, but only as far as Matt Thomas.
He's done well, Matt Thomas. I like him. Got a great approach to his footy.
Coming into the team this week at the expense of Surgeon. Mark taken by Shane Tuck.
Oh, come on.
Called to play on. Sean Burgoyne shrugs one tackle. Got it to his brother Peter. Inventive. Roden. Not a lot on offer. Now he has Boak running for him. Back to Roden, about to be run down again. Good acceleration. Port Adelaide pressing, but only as far as Polak.
Doing better today, Polak.
Here we go. This is the one they didn't pay. Now, that's a mark.
Oh, no one else touched it.
You know, the umpire's got it wrong when everyone stops, because I think it is a genuine mark.
And it was. Very courageous. Well, skillful. Very, very courageous.
Boak feeds Roden beyond his range, so shortens it up for the captain, Warren Treadray.
Hasn't he had a good game so far, David Roden?
Oh, I love him.
He started the game off beautifully with that first goal. He's taking them on, he's running and carrying, exactly what you want your running players to do. And another good setup here for Warren Treadray.
Well, Roden was Port Adelaide's best last week against Geelong. He perhaps will be leading their best and fairest at the moment, and no doubt enjoying this against the team that gave him away.
Not sure the Tigers fans will be enjoying it as much.
Treadray, 1 goal to his credit already today. Measured approach, the fans like it, and Port Adelaide are back in front. Warren Treadray's been doing his job this year. He's been held goalless just once in 13 games. Multiple goal kicker today.
I reckon he's got his spring back. He really struggled a bit last year with that knee, but he's got the sticky fingers again, Warren Treadray. He's had a pretty good year, and we've seen a lot of him this year on Fox.
Tuck dispossessed, comes again though. Logan went in strong. Here's Matt White. Now he has tremendous acceleration. 40 metres out, has pushed it to the side. A minor score.
Now I was just watching Richo then. He was screaming for the handball. I think Matt White did the right thing and had a shot. Just would have needed really to finish. Well, this is a bit of a
Pettigrew and Logan almost mixing it up. Carlisle release the pressure to Chaplin.
I've noticed a bit of maturity from Richo. Then he didn't give young Matty White a cook. He just got back to it, which was good.
Chaplin centre wing, looks into the attacking 50 or just outside, was after Treadray. The pass just astray and out of bounds.
Not a good kick in the finish, really. I mean, he did have plenty of time. He carried the ball a long way and made an absolute mess of one of the easiest entries in the 50 for the day.
Rowan Smith.
Well, boys, Chad Corns just come from the ground again, so he's still hampered by that right calf injury, so just keep an eye on him.
Robbie Gray wheels around the corner into the pocket. Sean Burgoyne outnumbered 3-1.
Well, you'd think, Rowan, that'll be the end of the day. He's had a struggle to get back on. He couldn't. I saw him try and take off for his first effort there. Couldn't do it. I reckon that's the end of the day for him.
Yeah, he's just walking past me at the moment, boys, so he's a little bit hampered. He's just walking at the moment, just trying to give a little bit of a stretch.
Lean over and ask him, Rowan.
I won't do that, Pickers.
Some might suspect it could be the end of the season for Chad Corns, the way he's travelling at the moment, unable to shake off these injury problems.
He's had the hand we know about. Parker, you think he's got a knee problem as well now?
Definitely has. It's been a long-term knee problem. Mark Williams talked about it. If they get to a position where they can't make the finals, he'll be the first player operated on there.
Just 4 wins so far from 12 games. They don't need to lose too many more before that comes into the equation.
Oh, I think they're nearly cooked if they can't win today. If they can't beat Richmond at home today, 1, they don't deserve to be in the finals, but 2, they're not going to probably be able to make the finals anyway. It's just getting away the season. They've had a tough draw, we know that.
So they have 4 of their next 5 here at home, so if they're going to make a stand, if they win today, there could be only 2 wins from 6th. So it is a lot of ifs and buts.
Well, they've played the Cats twice and been beaten twice, so that's 2 losses. And Sydney twice, and they've been beaten twice.
Well, they've lost so many of their games this year by close margins. Last year they were on the winning side of those games. Motlop takes the mark.
This beyond his range, John. You know him well.
Well,
I think he's within range.
Brogan wants it long, one out in the goal square. I reckon he'll try and take him on the mark.
I reckon knowing him, he'll do something special like sending it by an aeroplane in there.
No, I reckon he's going to run up, sell the dummy.
Oh, he probably will too.
No, they're too smart. Actually, Rewald's left his direct opponent to actually take that on. Look at this mongrel.
He's floated it forward and he's got the distance. Richmond needed to do a better job, but Motlop strikes again.
He is embarrassed. In fact, he's gone off the ground. He's so embarrassed.
Well, Dwayne Russell often talks about his bag of tricks. Well, he's certainly got a big bag. The Port Adelaide have kicked the first 4 goals of term number 2 with the aid of the breeze. They're back to a 6-point advantage. They trailed by 17 when we started this term, and they're off and running again. Brogan, energised, needs to get rid of it quickly. Shrugged as he took the tackle. The mark taken by Newman.
He's become a very good player, John Newman. Very, very reliable.
Joel Bowden, a half-back line. Ain't a swing it across ground for Kelvin Moore.
They've just stopped a little bit of this run here, Port Adelaide. They've stopped the Tigers' run and release from half-back. They're holding their zone well. They've got some alert players around the ground. Chaplin's doing a good job on Richardson.
Bowden with another bounce, works his way outside the defensive 50. Newman. Now Patterson, a little slow off the mark, but Dean Polo made the run for him. Driving the ball deep, not to the advantage of his forwards though. Port Adelaide looked to scurry it away. Chaplin.
On here.
Oh, they've got loose men everywhere.
Now, Ebert should really run and try and get the 1-2 here.
Looks for Sean Burgoyne at the back, and Bowden there to take a saving mark.
See, I'm not quite sure what he was doing then. He could have drawn the player, got a shepherd from lane and got the one back, or at least taken him on. The kick he had to kick that 65 metres.
They had a 4-on-3 fast break there. Weren't able to parlay that into a goal. And that could be a turning point. Bowden for Kelvin Moore. Patterson right there with him.
Here he comes again. Chad Corns back on the ground.
Oh.
A lot more alert this quarter. Port Adelaide, look at the movement. Pushing back, blocking space. The Tigers have got to work their way through this. They've got to get the ball into the hands of the good users. The Nathan Brown types, the Cochin types.
Bowden takes on Sean Burgoyne, arches the back, gets beyond him, now drives deep. Brogan involved. Robbie Gray gets back for Port Adelaide as well. Travis Boak, Kane Corns, hand pass going nowhere from Boak. .16.5 minutes played, term number 2. Richmond have added 2 points. Port Adelaide have kicked 4 goals since quarter time. Travis Boak with it again. Treadray the target. Moore provides the contest. Here's McGuan, shadowed by Chad Corns, who thought that was a little deliberate. But umpire Gary Feeler didn't see it that way.
Well, if that's any indication, Chad really struggled to even make a contest there. I don't think it's right. He needs, he'd probably find out whether he can or can't do it, but at the moment it's not happening.
Brogan taps it to the advantage of Pearce. Handball misses at target. Kane Corns retrieves it. Salopek can unload from 55. Chad Corns the target, and the ball is rushed through for a minor score.
Well, he's a very brave boy, Chad Corns. I thought he was done and gone.
Well, it's a pretty big passenger play here for Port Adelaide. We know their season's online, so is Richmond's, but you want to get your best player out there. You just at least see if you can get out and get it happening.
Delidio been well held, just his 3rd disposal. Looking for Newman, who did that well. Keeps it alive and now off and running with support. Patterson.
Brown one out in the goal square if they can get it to him.
He's looking a little shorter than that. Dancing on the boundary line and still going strongly. Dean Polo to Revolt, who sidesteps one and another and squirrels it through. Greenvolt gets his first goal of the afternoon, his 6th for the season, and his first since round 7. Port Adelaide lead by a point. Took 18 minutes of that term for Richmond to register their first goal, and Port Adelaide are hungry for more Motlop. Goal side of his opponent. Now with 3 to beat, really needed some support as they feed Chris Newman once more. Jordan McMahon. Slowing it down. Foley. Disposal number 13 for him. Only Joel Bowden with 15 has more for the Tigers. Newman finds Joel Bowden. Kelvin Moore to centre wing. Polak against Tredrack. Good contest, and Polak's been good today. 10 disposals.
Oh, the sun got his eyes. He's still got it.
Oh, come on up.
Not sure why that wasn't a mark.
Tuck, neat kick.
Oh,
finds Deledio.
Release the other side of McMahon.
Goal.
Jordan McMahon runs inside 50. Hasn't kicked the goal for 5 weeks.
He is now.
But he's broken the drought. He played with Glenelg and made his AFL debut here at Football Park, as it was known, round 6, 2001 for the Western Bulldogs, Jordan McMahon. His 3rd goal of the season after starting on the bench today. Lade giving Patterson one across the chops. And the Tigers have steadied here after Port Adelaide kicked the first 4. Richmond have hit back with the last 2 goals.
Like this too. Get it into the box, you can run and carry. Good kick by Patterson.
McMahon unloads again. Deep. Here's Mitch Morton latching onto the loose ball. The Tigers have kicked 3 goals in 3 minutes. Mitch Morton with his 3rd goal this afternoon. It equals his career high in a game. And Richmond lead by 11 points.
Well, it's funny you say Kasisi has gone, and he's now at 12 possessions, and Tucker's only moved to 14, so he's done a terrific job.
22 and a bit minutes played. 2nd quarter. Very entertaining stuff.
Nice and tight in the centre square too. You can see all the numbers.
Roden just losing his footing. Has the support there of Matt Thomas. He goes in search of Nick Lower. Foley corralled him, then bumped him off the kick as well. Kasisi on the retreat, not a lot on offer. They've got problems, Port Adelaide. They're going nowhere against this pressure. Somehow they manufacture it forward. Well, that was tremendous defensive pressure from Richmond.
Well, I hope those at home, John, are getting as much joy as we are. This is a terrific game of footy, and of all the elements that you want to see, great contest stuff, terrific run and carry, good finish around the goals. It's got everything, this game.
McMahon took it from Chris Hyde.
Starting to get a bit busy too, McMahon.
Patterson, now Bowden.
As is he. He's killing them, Joel Bowden. He's up to 18 touches.
Most in the game. The Tigers pressing again. Here's Shane Tuck. Wants to get on with it quickly. Searching kick. Mark almost taken down low. And they're holding the ball now, according to Hayden Kennedy, has been awarded against Polak.
Well, that's what the rule says. I don't know much, but that's what the rule says. If you're going to drag it in like that, you get tackled fairly, which he was. It's an automatic free kick.
Peter Burgoyne deep in defence for Kane Corns. Pearce. No one on the mark. Charging out, Warren Tredrack takes it right at centre wing. Has Logan running. Set him a task. Newman was there for Richmond. Now it's out of bounds.
You ask Richmond people about a guy called Chris Newman and the way he goes about his footy. That's the sort of teammate you want. You want a bloke that when it's his turn to go, and he did it on the centre wing and got them on this roll, I think, And then even that attack on the footy then was terrific.
Delidio surrounded, dropped the ball. Free kick, Port Adelaide.
He's one that Delidio's, he hasn't set them alight today, has he?
Pearce drives long. Chad Corns lurking. Couldn't take the mark. Kept it alive across the face of goal. And it's tambling there first. Taking it over the line, Travis Boak.
Really good by the Tigers. Chad Corns, gee, you'd normally eat that. He'd normally eat that mark.
Brogan supplies the tackle.
He's had 2 touches, Chad Corns. We know he's been on and off a bit.
So
it's just unlike him at the moment. He doesn't look right. Well, he knows he's frustrated.
You're playing one short in a sense.
Simmons with the tap. Treadray sharked it. Matt Thomas running out of real estate. Little over 3 minutes out from half-time.
And still, you keep a good man busy around the goal square. No one to be letting him go.
Tuck. Handball for Newman. He's waiting for some support to appear. Sean Burgoyne steals it away from Dean Polo. 55 out, keeps it low. Out of bounds on the full is the call from the goal umpire.
Well, he is annoyed with himself, and so he ought to be. I mean, a bloke of his ability should have got it squared up in some way, put it away, which we expect him to do, or get it squared back up in front of the goal, but he just whacked it out of bounds.
You went inside, play on.
Kelvin Moore, Treadray just sagging off him for the moment. They'll concede a minor score.
Well, you hope it doesn't cost him in the finish, John. It was an unnecessary one, that one.
Nathan Brown restarts for Newman. Now Trent Cotchin. Looking for and finding Luke McGuan.
He's a very cool and very clever boy, young Cotchin, isn't he? Very cool.
What he does is he gets on his bike, he plays on all the time, and if you play on, you initiate run, you're making everyone else move.
I agree, I agree. Movement creates movement all the time.
Foley.
What's in front of him there? Not a lot of holes.
Bowden.
They're all trying to find a man here, Port.
Now Chris Newman. Drives it long to the wing. Mark taken here by Polak.
He's doing better today. I know he made a terrible error early, but he's got better as the game has gone.
Pass intended for Dean Polo. Salopek right with him. Chad Corns comes in strongly. That looks like holding the ball. Less than 2 minutes to play until the major break. Logan hands over. Kane Corns pushed as he took the kick, found Ebert. Motlop is the only man within the 30-metre arc from goal. He leads to the pocket. What disposal from Ebert to find him.
You summed it up, John. The only spot he could kick it if he didn't go back and load up from 60 himself was into some space, and he did it beautifully. Look at the Tiger defenders there. Couldn't have weighted that any better.
Perfectly done. And you'd be tempted at this stage of the game, and being a prodigious kick, to have a crack, but he did exactly the right thing.
Well, Motlop's putting on a show today. Kicked a career-high 7 goals against Essendon in round 7. He's got 3 so far, and that never looked like missing. It's 4.
Well, one thing, Pickers, that I think it tells us that there is, and we should ask Rowan, there is a reasonable 2 to maybe 3 goal advantage to the left-hand end of everybody's screen.
Yeah, there is, Dave. As you called it, 2 to 3 goals. Definitely going to that left-hand end of the screen.
He's just a natural goal kicker, isn't he, Daniel Motlop? Easy as you like.
Port Adelaide have kicked 5 goals in this term. Motlop has kicked 3 of them after getting 1 in the opening quarter. It's Richmond by 4 points. 29 minutes played. Term number 2. Brogan mistimed his run there. Roden is there to try and clean up though, with the support of Matt Thomas. On the lead, Pearce couldn't take the mark under pressure from McMahon. Boak joins in. Cassisi back to Pearce. 45 seconds and counting until half-time. Brogan the target. Pearce looking short. Salopek off a step. Good vision.
It was good vision, John, because he could have blazed away then, Salopek. He's in really good form, Salopek. He's had a good year. He's had a dozen possessions today. But this is such an important time of the quarter. You're coming up to half-time. Port Adelaide got all the momentum. Then Richmond hits back with 3 goals in a row. If Port can finish with a couple of goals late, if he can finish it off here, they'll go into half-time feeling pretty good about themselves. I reckon 5 minutes ago they wouldn't have been.
19-year-old Travis Boak hasn't kicked a goal, or just 1 goal in the last 5 weeks. Comes in on the siren, pushes it across the face, is missed poorly. It's a minor score, but that reduces the margin here at half-time to 3 points, and that is a good recovery from Port Adelaide, because they were down by 17 when we started the second term. They kicked the first 4 goals of the quarter to retake the lead, and at the major break here from AAMI Stadium, it's Richmond 12-3 75, Port Adelaide 11-6 72. Welcome back to AAMI Stadium. Shortest day of the year. Winter solstice. The sun's still shining and the breeze still favouring the left of screen. Perhaps a 2 to 3 goal advantage in that direction that Richmond will enjoy here in term number 3. They kicked 9 goals, 1 with the breeze in the first quarter. Richmond, the highest scoring first quarter we've seen in the AFL this year. Port Adelaide kicked 5 goals to 3 in term number 2 to bring us to our halftime scoreline of just 3 points. The margin with the Tigers holding sway, the biggest margin we've seen at any stage today, a 17-point lead for Richmond at the 29-minute mark of term number 2. Richo, well, he's been good without being the star, just 8 possessions, but it's Port Adelaide's job on Trent Cotchin, who has just 5 disposals on an average of 17 and more. Interestingly, Brett Delidio, just 5 disposals on a season average of 26. So they need to pick it up here in the second half. An updated score from the MCG, as you can see, 31-minute mark, and the Hawks, well, they are going under North Melbourne by 27 points. They've kicked 15 goals to 10, and that's despite being out with half of their forward line. Well,
they're just that sort of team, aren't they? As soon as they seem to love it. They thrive on games where they've been written off.
Gary Fielder holds the ball aloft. We are set to go. Term number 3 from AAMI Stadium. Both teams looking for their 5th win of the season and to remain in the hunt for the finals. We can expect there's going to be an intense start to this second half.
Straight up, straight up, straight up.
20 players milling around the ball, majority of them inside the circle. And Gary Fielder has found a free kick to the Tigers.
I don't think I've ever seen 21 or 22 players, John, in the actual centre circle on the secondary bounce.
Foley, good distance with the kick. Lurking at the back was Cleve Hughes. Couldn't find the handle on it. Now the ball being escorted toward the boundary line by Michael Pettigrew.
You don't get a look at it often like that. Young Cleve Hughes should have taken that. He got over the top, timed it beautifully, just couldn't take it.
The arms just collapsed a bit, didn't they?
Shallow throw in. Tuck read it best. Got it to Revolt. He was knocked to the ground by Michael Wilson. It goes unwhistled. Cassisi cleans up for Port Adelaide, looking for Pearce, who started the game well. Problems now, though. Jordan McMahon with the tackle. They're away. Shane Tuck from the 50-metre arc squares the ball up for Richardson.
Actually ended up being a good kick. I thought Tuck might have been tempted to go for home. He has the capacity to kick over that distance without any frontal pressure, but he chose to square it up beautifully. Lovely kick here, out in front of Richardson. Richardson's got a run and a jump, and no one will get to him under those circumstances. I think that makes it about, on this kick, it'll be about 9 each of this little contest within the contest.
5 goals last week in the win against Melbourne. A goal kicker already today, and now he's got his second. Goal number 37 for the season for Matthew Richardson, top 10 in the AFL. He kicked 53 last year to lead the Tigers for the 12th time in their goal kicking. As Hayden Kennedy gets us back underway. Brogan working against Simmons. Roden went without it. Peter Burgoyne off the ground. But McMahon is there again. Collected by Brogan after the kick. Deep in the back. The mark has been taken this time by Cleve Hughes.
Parker, you asked for it, you got it.
Well, it's interesting because McMahon's playing on Pearce. It's a good little contest, and they've chased each other up and down the ground. He got a crook kick, Pearce. It was going over the top, and he was free and had a run to goal. McMahon cut it off halfway, set this up, the lovely run through the middle, and, well, this is heavy scoring again at the start.
These boys are usually, well, we saw his first effort at goals. He is a beautiful kick.
Coming up for just his 4th kick of the day, Cleve Hughes. Made the goal umpire do some work, but he's kicked his 3rd goal.
But in the finish, it won't be the Richardsons in the future. And so if Cleve Hughes doesn't stand up, and this is what Terry's trying, is to get other players in there who've got to deliver the target job. And he's done it today with 3.
Simmons with a clearing kick for Richmond. They go forward again. They kicked 5 of the last 6 goals, the Tigers, although Mitch Morton going nowhere under a strong tackle from Chad Corns.
It was a good attack on the ball by Mitch Morton, and what he did do really well then was he didn't cough it up. He didn't cough the ball up and allow the runners from Port Adelaide across half-back to get some space. He actually held the ball in. He had no prior opportunity. Really good play.
Loose ball, shark by Delidio. Hand pass in front of Chad Corns. Tigers with numbers here. Richardson trying to draw a free kick, nothing doing.
John, that's a bit sad. Richo then just had to be fair dinkum about that attack on the ball, and like you said, draw a free kick. He just dived forward, hoping the umpire would feel sorry for him.
Brogan wins the tap. Shark though by Simmons. High ball to the top of the square. Richardson lurking at the back, shinned it through with a support there of Mitch Morton. They kicked 3 in a row.
Well, the Port boys won't enjoy the debrief on Monday, I can tell you about that. There'll be a lot of asking questions, whose role was it, because they left it totally open.
Well, 3 flew for it. Someone had to get a fist. Someone had to get a fist through then.
Mitch Morton now with a career-high 4 goals. The Tigers have kicked 3 in 6 minutes here.
They need this bloke.
Sean Burgoyne bursts out of the centre. Going indirectly, though.
Free kick to Chris Hyde.
Off the play.
Off the play. That's
against Roden, unfortunately.
Well, he's been many.
Boys, it was against Dean Brogan, actually. Just bowled him over. Just running through the middle of the ground, just bowled him over. The umpire saw it.
Well, we saw this last week. Dean Brogan. Now, he's big, aggressive, but he needs to channel his aggression. He did this every time Geelong got a goal last week.
Polak joining in, looping handball. Back to where it started with Chris Hyde. Polak now for Nathan Foley. Dances around one would-be tackler. Good disposal to find Dean Polak.
There's a few just cruising here for Port at the moment. They allowed him to stand there for 5 or 10 seconds, Dean Polak.
Hasn't played since round 2, Dean Polo. From just outside the 50. Got the distance, but the accuracy not there. But the margin is now 22 points. It's the biggest we've seen at any stage today.
And you'd think if Polo, Cochin and Delidio actually get up and go now, they could make the difference.
And Nathan Brown.
That's the 4th one, isn't it?
On the reverse side, though, if Sean Burgoyne starts to get involved, which he hasn't at the moment.
Bowden picks off the pass from Tredrea to find Richardson just outside the 50. Going back with purpose here. Not an easy kick.
No, he didn't turn around, John, quickly to see that much else was on. I don't think it was, but he's made up his mind he's going to kick it.
33-year-old, the oldest man with us today, gets it long, but not the accuracy.
He does get him to swing left to right too, Richo, when he goes on that angle. The hook angle, he sort of pushes it in, but gee, it was poor play. I mean, they're falling over. They're making a lot of mistakes, Port Adelaide.
Chad Corns.
Got 3 touches, Chad Corns.
This one not to the advantage of a teammate. Picked off by Jordan McMahon. Bowden in support. The Tigers are mauling Port Adelaide at the moment. And this man, Cleve Hughes, is having a day out.
And he's coming hard. I think the good thing about him, when he read that from a long way back, he's made 40 or 50 metres in the lead to set himself up for this, and Bowden pulled the ball back underneath and just gave him a lovely chance to run onto it. Slippy, you're right, there have been some errors made in terms of keeping your feet and making good decisions that Port Adelaide have just failed miserably at.
Well, this is the man they thought would be the ultimate replacement for Matthew Richardson. He was a centre half forward in an All-Australian under-18 team. Hasn't lived up to the expectations so far, but he's found form today as he drills another, and Richmond have a game-high 29-point lead.
You come into a game against Port Adelaide in Adelaide with a terrible record, and they have got a terrible record here. And they've been able to kick 9 goals in the first quarter. They've got 4 goals out of Cleve Hughes. They've got 4 goals out of Mitch Morton, without a big impact from Richardson, without a big impact from Nathan Brown. Granted, Joel Bowden is playing some terrific footy. He really has been good today. This has been a superb effort by Richmond. 4 goals in the first 9 minutes of the third quarter with the game on the line.
Cleve Hughes has had 5 kicks. He's kicked 4 goals, 1, a career best. Richmond, with a 29-point lead, have exploded out of the blocks here. We saw Port Adelaide kick the first 4 of term number 2 in quick fashion, and Richmond with the breeze have done it here in term number 3 as Kasisi gets the ball forward to Ebert,
who was in front and running hard, and a kick that fell off the end of the boot and didn't help him much. He was in right position. You'd hope that he's able to settle the team here. This would be a good goal in the circumstances. I think the big picture stuff for Richmond that you've been talking about, Pickers, is the most important. This game could become pivotal in going forward, as we say these days.
Kicked a goal at the 4-minute mark of term number 1, but that is not going to be just the mark taken by Tredrea.
That is poor defence by Richmond.
Tredrea spies a loose man, a little deep with the kick, but Sean Burgoyne was strong with the mark.
Well, Terry Wallace and Parker, you're the former coach, would be sitting there. They've got all the momentum. They're dominating the game. They've had a bit of a snooze down there in the goal square.
Exactly. They both thought the other was going to do the job on the break, and neither did. I mean, that is a disgrace. This goal is a result of absolute loss of concentration by 2 players.
Richmond have kicked 7 of the last 8. Sean Burgoyne comes in to break the drought for Port Adelaide. Sean Burgoyne, with 19 goals for this season, has been very accurate and has been a goal kicker in all 10 of the games that he has played. Port Adelaide needed that, to say the least. Is Kasisi going in hard, as is his trademark. Roden nudged in the back, tunnelled out the back. Deledio for Richardson. Hand pass to Foley. Good time to make a decision. Wobbles one off the boot, and at the back the mark has been taken by Mitch Morton.
Very good overhead, Mitch Morton. He's one of those players that he's a 6-footer really, nearly 6'1". He's 185 centimetres, but got very clean hands. Saw a lot of him as a junior, highly rated junior. He would have been a top 6 draft pick, went West Coast father's son. For some reason struggled. Now I'm not sure what it was. There was some injuries there, a little bit of attitude problem I think as well. He ends up coming across to Richmond. He hasn't played every game for the Tigers, but he's a very, very good player.
21 years of age, had a career best of 3 goals coming into this afternoon. Mitch Morton fires away and has now kicked 5 without a miss.
What I like about both Morton and Hughes, they kick the ball like they mean it. They poke it through, they whack it.
17 goals, 5 for the Tigers. The forward line hasn't looked as potent as this all season. And they've got 8 goal kickers so far. Port Adelaide with some work to do. Tuck with a hand pass. Tracked down by Travis Boakter. Quickly onto the boot. Didn't look and has coughed it up to Polak.
He's been pretty good today, John, too. Probably his best game I've seen for a while.
McMahon. High ball, set a task for Polo and gave Sean Burgoyne a good run at it. Now it's Pearce trying to pinpoint the captain. Polak with a good spoil. Deledio getting involved here, term number 3. Did that well.
That's a telling stat, 8-2 inside 50s for the Tigers for the quarter.
Richardson on the goal line, harassed by Robbie Gray. Gets it short and finds Kelvin Moore. Bowden. Inboard for Polak. They've weathered the storm again, Richmond. They're growing in confidence. Carlisle right there with Revolt, who hasn't seen a lot of it. Bowden joins in once more. Generally a good user of the ball, finds Cotchin. Running by Jared Oakley-Nichols, his short pass. And playing on quickly, Tambling.
Flat-footed, that's a poor handball.
Made something out of nothing. Mitch Morton works around the body, looking for an even half dozen. It's a minor score.
Can I say there's something that's happening here? Polak's become good because he's starting to exploit the captain. And the captain has struggled in the second half of almost every game this year. So Treadray's got to find something, or they've got to make a change there.
Carlisle restarts and finds Brendan Lade. Only had 4 disposals so far, Lade. He needs to get involved as well. Goes to Brogan. And now to the run of Nick Lower. Treadray leads, that's ignored, he's going longer, and the mark taken by Robbie Gray. Plays on quickly, Motlop the target, did a great job to work to the front.
He looks like the only one up there, doesn't he? He looks the only real dangerous forward. Treadray's going okay across half forward, but they're all out around 60, 70 metres out. They're not really in the dangerous areas. One-on-one, Motlop looks the winner, really.
His acceleration is fantastic.
Looking for goal number 5. That's his 3rd bag of the year.
It's an interesting stat back, Vickers, because Polak's had 16 up until this day and Treadray's had 14. So it's been a pretty... But he has forced him up, you're quite right. Treadray's done most of his work within the sort of centre square or beyond the forward 50, and Polak's been running it out and is starting, unlike the first kick he had of the day, he's starting to use it.
Motlop, 5 kicks, 5 goals. Had 5 kicks last week and kicked 3 goals too. He is value for money.
This is where they need a real competitive effort though, John, in the centre square.
38 goals for the season for Motlop. Hyde taken down strongly. Chuck there, outnumbered. Somehow got it free. Port Adelaide hunting in numbers though. Logan. And now it's David Roden. Out wide Pearce on the move as well. Pushing the ball to the half-forward line. Kane Corns behind Deledio. Excellent effort.
Terrific mark.
Wasn't a good mark. But he has played constructive forward leading target, hasn't he? So he's good overhead.
Dangerous kick in the Motlop vicinity. And he only needs to be in the vicinity. Here's Tom Logan. Measures the pass. Kane Corns had it knocked away by Deledio. Went off the ground when maybe there was a better option. It's a minor score.
Oh, the closing speed of Deledio there.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just a lay down Mazzara, easy goal. Just missed it then, but Deledio's speed to get a fist into Kane Corns. He had him shot. He's not happy with himself because his kick was pretty ordinary. Would have hurt, would have really stung if he had actually had his opponent at the goal.
The Tigers playing with fire again. Oakley-Nichols with a bounce. Up to the wing. Carlisle leads the charge though. Plays on quickly to Peter Burgoyne. The power not done with just yet as Burgoyne loads it up. Ebert the target. Motlop from behind. Richmond with numbers though. Kelvin Moore feeds out the hand pass. Tambling. Handball to traffic. Gave Patterson no chance. Brogan is there with Boak. Now David Roden joins in. Short pass. Finds Motlop against Maguire. Treadray on the lead. Motlop looking for Robbie Gray. One out though, and he was strong in the contest.
He has the capacity to do that, doesn't he? Both Ebert and he, despite their inches in height, are very strong in the body and very, very strong in the hands. I was just watching, I reckon if you wanted to look up the dictionary and and see the definition for laconic. I think it's called Oakley Nichols. He's the most laconic mover over the ground I've seen in a long while.
Been out of the side for a while. Got back in last week. Jared Oakley Nichols.
It's been 5 goals to 2 Richmond's way in this term, but Robbie Gray, known goal kicker, makes no mistake. Well, Robbie Gray was in the best players last week in a dismal team effort down at Geelong. Played only 7 games last year because of calf and thigh problems, but he is a dangerous commodity in front of goal.
Let's get down to Rowan Smith on the boundary line.
Well, boys, when I spoke to Brian Royal in the first quarter, he was just worried about the Richmond's turnovers. They've just got to relax here at the moment, and they've just put Joel Bowden behind the ball just to stem the flow a little bit.
Cassisi got it from Roden. Gray looked to be pushed in the back by Newman, but it goes unwhistled. There's the nudge from Chris Newman. Not enough to convince the umpires as Kelvin Moore takes the mark. Tigers lead by 17 points. 21 minutes done here in the third quarter. Would Adelaide to have the breeze to come home with. And he hasn't touched the ball a lot today, Jack Riewoldt, but he's done his job.
Done a couple of nice things.
Being competitive. Looked for Morton, couldn't find it. Burgoyne run down from behind. Looked like incorrect disposal. That went unwhistled. Thomas set up his teammate lower. Pettigrew gets involved. Port Adelaide eventually get it outside their defensive 50, but not for long. McGuan.
Good pressure by the Tigers half-forward line.
Decisive kick as well, releasing Shane Tuck. That looks good off the boot to find Simmons.
One out in the goal square here. Richo on a lead now.
To the forward pocket, Richmond in good position. Peter Burgoyne there, Kane Corns with Roden running past. The quick bounce, as is his trademark, hand pass over the top. And now they get it to Daniel Pearce, who has room to move in. At one Port Adelaide player in their 50 though, and Pearce has to keep running. Drew the player, uses Travis Boat, Logan for Pearce, getting untidy now, and they've coughed it up. Polo to Foley. Simmons. Tuck. Measures the pass. Delidio thought about getting a hand in there. Scooped out by Polak. Cochin looks for the lead of Richardson, working against Chad Corns. The two big guns going at it, and Richardson right on the boundary line, keeping it alive.
He's wanting a free kick, Richo.
And the one thing that Tuck has improved is his kicking. He used to bang it long and they'd sit. Now he's able to draw the ball back under his body and hit the bloke over medium and short distances. And he's done it all day today. He's been very effective with his feet.
Well, he started the ball rolling, didn't he, really, the first quarter?
He's doing a bit of that too. Third man up and grabbing balls at throw-ins.
Morton taken high by Brogan. It goes unwhistled somehow. Pettigrew dragged off it. Brogan in at close quarters again. Tuck hasn't stopped trying all day. Cochin hoists it onto the boot. Cleve Hughes came out strongly, attracted a crowd and has won a free kick.
All right, let's have a little look at this one.
Well, that could have been a free too that was missed.
That is a free kick.
That's a free kick, Brogan. Again, he's done it. Oh, that's definitely a free kick against Chaplin.
Yep, bit high.
Yeah, a bit high. And look, young Jack Riewoldt hasn't done too much, but what we know he can, I saw him in a state final in Tassie a couple of years ago, he really can mark the ball. So if that's a third man in weight, he hasn't contributed Pickers all that much, but...
It's a beautiful kick. We've said this all day, Cleve Hughes.
Looking for goal number 5, for kick 12 in his life coming into this game, and that sails through.
Really important goal for the Tigers. Port kicked the last 2. You've got 5 out of Cleve Hughes now. Well done, Tuck, again. You're right, because he was a third man up in that boundary throwing contest. Yeah. And it's a good sign that the 3 Port players are actually all going for the footy, but it was probably a bit high. He had the arm across his shoulder. A good contest by Cleve Hughes. That's all you ask for in some of these young players. Give it a contest. Bring it to ground.
They had the numbers at ground level, Pickers, if they failed in the other one.
Well, Cleve Hughes has kicked 3 in this term, 5 for the game. New career high for him in his first game since round 2. So he may have earned another game at least.
Yeah, I reckon he'll get him another week at the very least.
Give him the rest of the season now, build the kid's confidence.
Late, uncontested, wins the tap, looking for Sean Burgoyne, tackled without it, barging his way through and enjoying the contact. Matt Thomas, the ball bring it back.
The numbers back here for Richmond.
16 of their 18 in Port Adelaide's half. Gray lurking, McGuan gave it up to Bowden when he didn't need it. We'll have a bounce.
We talked about Nathan Brown going back into defence. Well, getting into the game is probably what we were more talking about. Hasn't had a big impact. When he has touched the ball, he's been good. Just the 9 disposals, kicked a couple of goals, but he's going back into defence, playing loose man defence at the moment. There he is.
On cue, getting the kick away. Ball's going to stay in. Peter Burgoyne to be first at it. Sprott brushes off the tackle of Kelvin Moore, but then fumbled it out of bounds.
He is, not Burgoyne, he is so good, the little bloke in game. Nathan Brown, he is very good at that job as well, and can go into the middle and break it up as well.
Free kick going to Port Adelaide. Sean Burgoyne.
Holding. Bit of holding against Polo, I think you'll find. He's saying, I just have my arms around him. But
same thing. That's free. If you're facing him up with your arms around, you block him out there. 5 minutes off the ball, free kick.
I noticed it last week in the Geelong Port game that Kane Corns was doing that to Gary Ablett. I think he gave him 5 free kicks in the end.
And it should be free kick.
Treadray in the goal square. One out. It's gone over the back. But Bowden is there to relieve the pressure for the Tigers. Well, stand by. Good tackle applied by Thomas.
Oh, it's on.
Now Chris Hyde recovers.
Oh, it's on, John. It's on now. It's on in the right way. This is a terrific contest. I'm glad we got the trip to Adelaide today, Pickers.
So am I. It's actually been a great game. It's had a bit of that. It's had a bit of grunt. It's also had some good skill level today.
Late outnumbered. McGuan third man up. Shark by Salopek. Slipped at the crucial moment. Kane Corns can't work it free. Bowden, one way. Back the other.
He's played well, Joel Bowden.
Has he ever?
Disposal number 27 and no one has more. This is Dean Polo, who's grown as the game has gone on, but straight to Chad Corns, who gets it back from Roden. Now he's looking out wide for Salopek.
They've got a loose player at half forward here. It's Robbie Gray.
Missed him.
Spotted him.
Peter Burgoyne on the wing. Lead from Gray now. Coming back, taking the mark, Kelvin Moore.
And he's not used, and his opponent gets the ball kicked straight to him. Just didn't see him out there doing amongst the crowd.
Just missed him.
2.5 minutes to play, term number 3. Richmond pinned in their defensive 50, but with a 23-point lead.
Port Adelaide have had 41 inside 50s to Richmond's 35.
Dangerous kick. It's set up for Travis Boak. Thomas, handball out. Port Adelaide desperate for a score. Robbie Gray, though, has come up with a minor one.
He had the chance to come out of the crowd and kick one, and he missed it.
Worried Port Adelaide fans. So they should be. Their season's unravelling at the moment.
Bowden back to Kelvin Moore.
Get down to Rowan Smith. Smithy, how's the atmosphere down there? Is there a little bit of a sense of panic with Port at the moment?
Yeah, well, look, Pickers, the crowd is obviously getting behind Port at the moment, but Port are just allowing Joel Bowden and Nathan Brown loose in defence. You just can't do that, boys, at this point in time.
Minute 30 on the clock until three-quarter time. Foley had it pitch in front of him. Kept it alive, though. Jordan McMahon. Good hand pass. Polo. Chris Hyde dancing around a couple of would-be tacklers and takes on Sean Burgoyne as well. Now he has Newman.
Oh, Motlop come from nowhere there.
Motlop lurking. Has 2 to beat. Takes on Bowden, who's crunched by Matt Thomas. And on his 30th birthday, he's flat on his back behind play. Nathan Brown with a right foot pinpoints the pass. And Clearview's has got it again.
That's gone 8 metres. The umpire called play on for the one that went 30 metres down here, and that one's, I reckon Brownie was past him by the time he might mark the ball.
He's had a good game, Joel Bowden.
Oh, terrific.
It's a good hard hit. Well, who knows what's going to happen out of that, but he's a good hard player, Matt Thomas.
Oh, that's what he's there for.
He's like a young Joel. He's like a young Michael Wilson.
He's only about 20.
Yeah, he loves hitting blokes. It's good, all fair. I think that was fair.
Yeah.
Well, Richmond haven't had a 7-goal third quarter so far in 2008, but they have now.
This bloke could fast become... there was a real hype on Tim Boyle's goal kicking last year.
Yes.
If you want to see, sort of as a kid, you want to show a kid how a kicking technique when you're kicking at goals. Now, far be it for me, I was hardly any great goal kicker. That did go. I think that went 6 metres.
Whether he's 15 out or 60 out, because he kicks it with exactly the same technique.
Cleve Hughes is putting on a clinic here today. 7 kicks, a career best, 6 goals, 1, and that includes 4 here in the third term. It's a 28-point lead for Richmond with 19 seconds left until three-quarter time.
Didn't dive on it. He's got it out. He's knocked it out.
Interesting thing, John, is that we spoke to Brian Royal. I remember at a quarter time he was saying, I know if we can get in quickly, they're weak in defence. I hadn't actually picked that up. By looking at both sides lined up, I thought they were equally as good in that part of the ground. He was very confident they would dominate them if they got it in there, which they've done.
They have.
Delidio drives the Tigers forward again. They need a mark. Mitch Morton unable to take it. But they have turned it on here in term number 3 of the Tigers. They kicked the highest first quarter in the AFL this season, and now they've kicked their highest third quarter of 2008 as well. And with 1 quarter to play, it's the Tigers by 28 points. Tigers are on fire with the breeze. They've kicked 16 of their 19 at the northern end here of Amy Stadium, which is being favoured by the breeze. Cleve Hughes a career-high 6 goals. Mitch Morton a career-high 5 goals. And Daniel Motlop's exquisite 5 has been lost in the moment here because Richmond with a 28-point lead with 1 quarter to play. And Joel Bowden a game-high 29 disposals.
Let's get fitting with the statistics in that third quarter. That's a dominance. 100, nearly double the amount of possessions, Marco. More contested possessions, nearly double the amount of uncontested possessions. Look at the mark tally. 14 inside 50s to 10. They are just dominating this game. The only area they're really not dominating is the centre breaks.
Well, they've been superb. Both those guys. They've only kicked 3 the other way, but this, in a sense, for Port Adelaide is a real tester in that they haven't been able to win going in the finish with the breeze when they're in front.
Well, let's find out what their forward coach Jason Cripps has to say. He's with Rowan.
Well, Jace, at this point in time, you've got to get back into the game. How are you going to do it?
Look, we're certainly trying not to let them have any frees behind the ball and go man on man and try and hold the ball inside our 50 and create some opportunities like that. But our work rate and our intensity that quarter was certainly down in the first half.
Was the instruction there at three-quarter time, just take the game on? You know, you're behind at the moment. You've got to win the game, obviously. You just take it on?
Yeah, we said to them, no marks, just play on at all costs and get the ball in the likes of Sean, Burgoyne, Peter Burgoyne, Pearce, Roden, and just take some risks. We've got nothing to lose in that regard.
So you're going to load up the forward line?
We'll just keep it as is. Motlop down there, Treadray, Ebert, Gray, and see if we can hold in with some extra numbers.
Thanks for your time, Jason.
Smithy.
Get the ball, work harder, seemed to be the message, Parker. And I noticed that Mark Williams took the players to the other side of the ground. He does that occasionally, something you used to do as a coach.
You never, ever saw me do that once. I cannot believe that coaches actually go and try and use the crowd for it. If you have a look, there was nobody there anyway.
Well, Port Adelaide need anything they can muster at the moment. Their chances of making the finals are hanging by a thread. They're going to have to create a club record to get up and win here as Brogan drives them forward to the attacking end, favoured by the breeze. Treadray had a lot of it but couldn't take the mark. Kelvin Moore putting his body on the line. Brown back there with McMahon now tambling. Brown kept running. Pushes it further up the ground to Chris Hyde, tracked by Roden, a former teammate. Back to Tambling. They've remained calm, the Tigers, and now they're in their attacking 50. Coming back, Rogan.
And they haven't dropped anybody back, Richmond. They look like they're going to try and attack and win the game rather than hold on and look.
It's working for them. They shouldn't change it now.
Boak, quick hands for lower. Sold the dummy. Now has Kasisi lurking on the outside. Works inside the 50, split 2 defenders, tripped, gets back to his feet. Not his best kick, but it's going to be marked by Brett Ebert.
Well, we can go all the way back to the other end of the ground for this. Dean Brogan, it's all right to talk the talk, but he went back here. Exactly what was needed. Exactly what was needed to start this last quarter. That's the reason they've got the ball at the other end of the ground. That's why Brett Ebert's lining up from the goal square.
Super effort.
Missed the last 3 games with an ankle problem from point-blank range. Ebert gets his second. Margin cut to 22 points.
Yeah, that was just, it was a terrific bit of play by Brogan. As I say, he was the most vocal last week. He was vocal again at three-quarter time. Mind you, not as vocal as the coach. No, he had the Park and Vane going.
Well, he looked a bit. It's a shocking reminder, isn't it?
Ebert with his second goal. Motlop has 5. Treadray with a couple as well. We saw Port Adelaide kick the first 4 goals of term number 2 with the assistance of the Breeze. They got off to the start that they needed, but Richmond still by 22 points. Simmons up before acceptances. Brogan winning the tap and a free kick going to Roden. Disposal number 19 for him, and no one has more for Port Adelaide. Burgoyne wobbles it forward. Polak couldn't trap it. Simmons, Kasisi can with the left boot. High to the forward line. Good run from Robbie Gray.
Needs to settle here. Needs to go back. Or he can work it up and just use Kasisi or Pearce. But if I was Robbie Gray, I think he's a good finisher.
Yeah, he should go. No, he's very confident around the face. Look, this is a great start. And they've certainly responded to both the coach's words and the crowd behind them.
You're a bit sceptical about that crowd, actually, aren't you?
Yeah, well, going to be terrific for us as viewers, but for the Port Adelaide to actually find something in the last quarter.
Goal kicker in the third term at the other end, Robbie Gray. That was never online, a minor score.
They've started with a bit of intent, though, this last quarter.
And Richmond have just kept their back 6. They haven't panicked at this stage. They haven't pushed anybody behind the ball, not a loose man anywhere.
Roaring as well. 20,923 here, one of the smaller crowds at Amy Stadium, as Bowden drives Richmond up to the wing. Big pack of players.
Fair piece of that, Troy Simmons then.
He did, didn't he? And I think he's got one in that too, struggling a bit.
4 minutes played in the final quarter.
We heard Jason Cripps talk about getting the ball into the hands of the likes of Burgoyne and these players. For a kick.
Deledio trying to draw a whistle, couldn't do so. Foley beaten by the bounce. Sean Burgoyne about to be wrapped up by Oakley Nichols, slung to the ground holding the ball.
That's for the one they didn't give 2 seconds ago.
Good run. Right.
Matt White charges away into the pocket for Richardson.
Oh, come back to a tackle back by Oakley Nichols in the middle of the ground. Really important, Burgoyne. The tackle on Burgoyne was a beauty.
Beauty was a good one. Young Matt White carried the ball pretty well there. I think he's got some talent too. Hasn't been a prolific player today. Got some toe, yeah.
Richardson plays on to improve the angle. Gun barrel straight. The Tigers look like winners.
That was unbelievable. Yet behind what he just did there, Matthew Richardson, he ran around and then straightened up, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did do.
He took him on Sean Burgoyne. Good tackle by Oakley Nichols. And he got the ball on quickly to the wing, and White, it was pretty poor play by Pearce, just floated past and allowed White to play on with all the space.
They've showed a bit of poise though, Richmond, haven't they? Because I reckon the first 2 will give you the wobbles a bit.
Good goal by Richard.
Well, Richardson, a multiple goal kicker in 10 of the 13 games this season. 14 disposals, 3 goals won. And the margin is 27 points. High. Richmond go forward once more. Pearce tracks it back. Peter Burgoyne it is. Polo Races to the front, though, with the support of Tuck. And Peter Burgoyne's done. He's heading to the boundary line, can't compete.
Well, he wants to get straight off the ground. I'm not sure why he's not. He looks like he can't walk. He's got cramp.
Bowden out wide to find Simmons. And now Tamblin. Forward of the wing goes into the pocket. And the mark taken by Nathan Brown.
He'll run around. He'll just about run around on his right here, won't he? Open the angle up. No one's coming to get on the defensive side there to prevent him from running around. He'll just cruise around here, I would have thought.
32 of the 36 players in Richmond's half, but somehow they still find Foley all alone.
A lot of numbers back, you're right.
Well, it is, but it's criminal that they can be all back and no one can find that Blake. It just worries me, just zone defence all the time.
Bowden up for disposal, 32. McMahon plays on quickly. Foley looks into the pocket. Congested area. Port Adelaide with numbers. Wilson.
Look at the pressure, though, of the Tigers.
Appeared to be taken high, Chris Hyde. Didn't get a free kick, and that's not for the first time this afternoon.
They're not going to let this go, the Tigers. You sense that they are absolutely committed to not giving any Port player time or space.
Smithy, any real big moves being made on the boundary line down there for Port?
Peter Burgoyne's come, Pickers, as you picked it before. We thought it was cramp, but it looks like he's done his right hamstring. So they're just putting ice on it now, so which is bad news for the Power.
White shovels it out. Tigers pressing again.
Back.
Free kick going against Chaplin.
He's given a few away today, Chaplin, hasn't he? I mean, with his intent to get the job done, but he's just been a bit like that in the back, a couple around the neck and high.
Chris Hyde here. He can kick a long way, but he doesn't fancy himself. He got some marking power.
Polak. With a free kick aimed to Port Adelaide.
Yeah, pushed before he got there, apparently. A strong marker or so.
Chad Corns hands over to Brother Kane. They were 1-2 in the best and fairest last year for the club. Now Treadray. Offensive side of the wing. Puts it up into the path of Travis Boak. Just bumped off it by McMahon. With the support of Cochin and now Dean Polo. Disposal number 12 coming up for Polo.
All the Port numbers in front of him. He's going to have to use the short option.
Has to pinpoint the pass right on the boundary line. The mark has been taken by Delidio.
Convince me.
Richardson the deepest man. Chad Corns has lost him momentarily. Danger signs for Port Adelaide. Richardson couldn't mark it. Chad Corns almost a little too high with a tackle on Nathan Brown.
Well, he's brave, Chad Corns. I really think brave coming back out. He's obviously almost crippled and just doing the job.
Cassisi in the congestion. Hands over to Matt Thomas. Tamblin found a way through. Pettigrew for Kane Corns. Treadray again presenting. Trying to get around his immediate opponent in Polak. Good contest between the two big men. And it's come out the back. High for Polak. High ball. Logan went back with courage, almost caught Wilson. Chad Corns for Sean Burgoyne.
They're all the good players that are winning possessions in defensive 50s.
This time the pass intended for Salopek. Finds it now. Kane Corns.
Down the ground.
Taken high.
Yeah, Pearce gets, I think, was afterwards.
Just Patterson coming across with an errant arm. Pearce on the wing, looking for Brendan Lade, outnumbered, but pushed in the back.
Oh, that's a good call. That's a good call. He just took him under the ball.
Motlop isolated one-on-one against Kelvin Moore, who's feeling a little nervous. Motlop to the pocket. Lade looks in that direction. Good job from Moore. Help from Jordan McMahon.
He's been good today, Jordan McMahon. That's a terrible handball by Drew.
You could call him.
Sold his teammate into trouble. Thomas's tackle was a little high. That went unwhistled. Logan takes two of them on. And he's taken high, a free kick for Port Adelaide.
When he put his head into it.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see the replay here because there was one at the other end with Nathan Brown who Corns tackled around the neck. Pretty similar one. No, that should have been play on. If you don't play the one at the other end, I know they're different umpires.
The player was tackling correctly, put his head down and ran into it. I mean, it wasn't a high tackle at all. He just...
Gee, they need this goal, Port Adelaide. I mean, that's an understatement when you're 5 goals down in the last quarter, but they need to find some spark.
Tom Logan hasn't kicked a goal for 3 months. His only goal this season, round 1 here against Geelong. Never looked like missing though. Tom Logan, who played 3 games with Brisbane before recruited to the Power, kicks the goal. Only the 7th of his career in 4 seasons, with a margin at 21. Tuck in hard. So too Kasisi.
That's been a terrific contest, hasn't it? There have been a couple of really good contests in the game, haven't they? We'll talk about that later, but they really have.
Well, you'd have to give it to Tuck. Really, he's had 30 disposals, 9 contested possessions, 6 inside 50s.
Port Adelaide with a free kick, off and running again. Boak, Ebert and Motlop on the lead. Again, Kelvin Moore saves the day, but Ebert lurking on the boundary line and now over. Almost 13 minutes played in the final quarter. Richmond by 21 points. But the fans still believe. Kasisi wrapped up in a tackle, shoveled it out somehow to lower. He's going nowhere.
Righto, Parko, you're the former coach, premiership coach. What do Port do here in this scenario? Do they need to empty it out? Do they need to just try and mix and match a little bit? What do they do with the midfield?
Certainly now that Richmond have got one sitting back, if it's Bowden, I think he's taken the initiative and dropped back in that area. Forwards have got to come up. Their blokes will come with them.
McMahon got it from Deledio. Handball over the top for Newman. He's looking out wide for Revol.
And Revol's doing the job down back, which we probably didn't tell. Listen, he's doing the job on the ruckman, on Lade.
Yep.
As a back pocket defender, or whatever you call it down there.
Playing on the big tall, the third tall. Bowden is now taking his 19th mark.
And he's doing it on his own here now. He'll be the go-to. He's so good with his feet. They've just got to make it happen here, Port. They've just got to get a bloke.
Well, in the situation, like we can see what's going on here, Rewald's pushed up and he'll get on the end of this now.
Oh, good. Polak with a good mark.
Gee, he's been good. That's been a good contest, really, between the two of them as well.
He's taken 12 marks.
Bowden with 19 marks is the most by a player this season in the AFL.
He's going to get, he's out on this side of the ground by himself. He'll get another mark in a second. Yeah, he's now got 20.
We saw Brian Lake take 24 last year.
You know how many of those are contested at the moment? 1. He's got 19 uncontested marks out of 20. But that's the way the game's... He's played very well, Joel Bowden.
And it's a skill. People think it's not, but it's an absolute skill to be able to do that.
Polak looking for distance. Here's Revol against Brogan. Dancing around, centering the ball. Logan came strongly. Kasisi underneath it again. Almost gave up the handball to Patterson. Chad Corns in strongly. Camped on the ball.
Shouldn't be. You're right, he was in stripe, but he didn't lie on the ground and drag it back in. He was knocked over the ball, which I'm glad the umpire interpreted that way.
Yeah, you're allowed to try and grab the ball if you've been knocked over, I would have thought.
Brogan double hands it. Carlisle coming through strongly. Caught Cochin high as well.
Well, they're doing it the right way, Richmond. They've got smart here now. They're maintaining possession whenever they're given the opportunity without racing going forward, and they are ferocious in the contest.
Brogan had it, then lost it. Now Patterson with it, wrapped up by Kane Corns.
I would go as far as to say that Richmond have not had a player that hasn't had a real crack today out of the 22 that have taken the field. Not one player.
That's true. All contributed, some more than others, but everybody's made a contribution.
Polo, third man up. Kane Corns to Alapati Carlisle. Hacks it out of there. Rolling to the boundary line. And a throw in.
Well, they've got it. in one sense, they have brought their forwards up. I'm not sure whether that's because they're trying to make Richmond accountable, but now there is a third of the ground available if they can get a fast break.
Pearce for Sean Burgoyne. One bounce on centre wing. Now the driving kick for Motlop. Going back, Joel Bowden diffuses the situation.
He's been terrific, John. He's been terrific because he copped a good one. The young bloke, Thomas, he's put him down with one of the best I've seen for a while, and he's come back, bounced back up and performing well.
And his birthday today, turning 30. But this is the team who finished bottom of the ladder with a wooden spoon against one of last year's grand finalists.
On the line to play between McGuan and Motlop, and he's given Motlop a free, I think, has he? No, it's against him, though, because Motlop responded. He should have let it go. Should have let it go.
We saw this last week, Parko. We went down and watched them play Geelong. They got frustrated. They got undisciplined. We get you disappointed, but I mean that's just taking away any chance you've got of winning the game if you're continually giving free kicks off the ball.
Gee, I'd love Newman's game today too. You were right. He's so efficient. He's hard. Good overhead for his size. Runs the line, and he's a left footer that pumps the ball beautifully.
Simmons fresh onto the ground, charges up to take the mark at the defensive 50.
Well, they're not going to give it up, Richmond, I think. I just think this means so much to them.
But how many of the Port players at the moment are just trailing their opponents in? They're just trailing them in, letting them get on the end of the short kick.
Because you can't win the game. You've conceded if you're not going to do it.
They are conceding at the moment.
Simmons awkwardly off a step. Mark taken by Chris Hyde. They still look a little nervous in the Tigers box.
Well, he's got to be smart. He's got to think their way through this here.
Well, they've manned up for the first time now.
Oakley Nichols looks for Richardson.
Well, you can just see, just on your monitors at the moment, Steve Selopek's just come from the ground as well, icing his left Achilles. So he's out for the game as well, boys.
It's a bit easy, that one.
Richardson
cruised past.
Pushed off the kick by Chad Corns. Roden looking for a free kick, and the umpire obliges.
So you've got to take a risk now. You've just got to take a risk. On the coach, just take a risk now.
I'm not sure you can do what Chad Corns just did then. Did he call play on?
Yep.
And that's why he took the bloke out on the mark? Yep. Well, we've got to go have a look at that. I mean, it was a hip and shoulder, but he hit him hard.
Ball still in dispute. Wilson now into space for Pearce. Dean Polo's come straight from the ground after that incident with Chad Corns. Here's Boak tucked in the pocket. Difficult angle. He threads the needle.
Good boy.
7 goals, 4 on the season for Boak, but Chad Corns, well, took apart Dean Polo, who was standing on the mark.
I just don't think you can do that. I know he called play on.
But
I mean, it was a hip and shoulder on the side, fine. No problems. But the umpire's right there.
Wouldn't expect that, would he? He would have no idea. He thinks he should be protected.
Gray got the tap from Lade. Speeds off. Moore, though, holds them up. Now coming out, Newman taken high.
Just so you know, I'm thinking more of a free kick.
Yes,
more so than anything else.
Yeah, I agree with that. Not a reportable offence.
No.
Just bad luck on that usage going forward then.
Less than 6 minutes to play.
And that's where they're going to run out of time.
5.5. It's only 2.5 goals. They needed a better result. You're right from that centre clearance.
Oh, just got a great centre clearance. The kick was poor.
So's this one. It's picked off by Logan. They're digging deep, Port Adelaide. Chaplin, one way, back the other. Logan has Carlisle in support.
Good kick.
Spears the kick to the wing and Wilson. Gray, goal side of his opponent. Gets the better of Tuck. Plays on. Not a lot on offer. Motlop, always dangerous though. Comes out and takes the mark.
Well,
here's the spark, Parko. This is the ball. You can do it.
Here's the ball. Well, they've been very brave because they just weren't doing enough. They weren't getting enough position. Richmond were able to hold on to it and push it round. And they gradually closed it up, didn't they? They gradually made it kick to a contest.
4 goals to 1 in the final quarter. The margin cut to 9. 6 straight for Daniel Motlop. 39 on the season after kicking 44 in 2007. A 9-point ball game. 4.5 minutes left on the clock. Deledio retreats for McMahon. Still plenty of work for the Tigers to do. Jared Oakley-Nichols. He's going backwards. Out wide. Good mark from Revolt.
That's what he can do. He's very, very good at that.
What they need to do here, the Tigers, they just need to believe in their own skills. And that's the problem. That was a doubting kick.
Sean Burgoyne spins out of trouble, looks into the middle of the ground. Lower.
It's not a great kick.
Coming out strongly, Revolt, standing his ground, Pearce, and with the quicks, a little too nimble for Simmons. Pearce with 2 bounces, works to the 50, gets the kick to the danger zone, Motlop lurking, comes out strongly, and a free kick going to Richmond.
He's trying to call advantage, but cover ball wasn't having any of that.
I'll give it back to me, mate.
Newman gets it from Bowden.
In these tight games, you do need to just believe in your own skill level. You need to trust your skills.
Bowden with 37 disposals and 22 marks.
You can see already the Tigers just back over the mark, looking to create a loose player. Looking to just use a bit of the clock up.
Deledio.
You've got to have players determined to make space now, and Port Adelaide have got to have players that want to man up.
Good, and they've done it well. They haven't lost their poise, I reckon. I mean, Jack Rewald made a bad error, kicking error there, but he was able to take the mark and claim it before, and he came back and made a terrific contest a few seconds later.
3 minutes to play.
A terrific game, John. Terrific game for us, for you to call, for us to watch and enjoy.
Tigers with a 9-point lead. Another goal can seal it. And they've got Nathan Brown. Good job from Pettigrew to scurry back. Now he pushes over Mitch Morton. Nathan Brown lurking against Bogue. Tight angle. Has missed the light.
And that's the bloke I would have given it to if I'd been round.
Almost 25 minutes played.
Well, it's winnable. Winnable, John. 2 kicks in 2.5 minutes.
But it's not going to be this way though, Parko.
Probably not.
It's got to be. They've got to somehow get the corridor, and they've got to get some overlap run.
They've got some run here from Chaplin.
Here they go now.
Motlop, the main danger man, wobbles toward him. Right there with him, Bowden. McMahon. Motlop wanted a free kick. Was remonstrating when he needed to be back doing the job for his team.
Super effort by McMahon. He's been one of their better players.
Foley measures the pass. Morton takes the mark. Now they're pressing. Took the man off. Sean Burgoyne went the bump when the tackle was appropriate. Dean Polo back on the ground after being crunched by Chad Corns. And here's Kane Corns deep in the back pocket, giving up a minor score.
Okay to concede there, because you still need 2 goals there. They've got the player out wide on his own, big Brendan Lade.
Lade charging up the ground to the wing.
Needs a shepherd. And God, good one.
Treadray, the target, looks good off the boot. The captain's got it.
Great shepherd by Pearce.
Around, Motlop works to the front, wanted a free kick, so did the fans. Here's Logan, unlikely hero. He splashes another, and Porter back to within a straight kick.
This has been a cracking game. But that's why it was good to concede, because by conceding the point, they were able to bring it in. Richmond didn't have time to put the zone up, and they had an unlikely player in Brendan Lade.
Brendan Lade, he's made 80 metres with about 7 or 8 bounces. This is on. I mean, been a very brave effort by both sides, but particularly brave by Port Adelaide with their current history and where they were in this game. No chance.
5 goals to 1 in the last quarter, including the last 4, has Port Adelaide within a straight kick. 68 seconds to play.
Tigers loading up the back line.
And
the numbers behind.
They've gone from 6 to 8 very quickly.
They led by 30 points during the 3rd term, Richmond. Port Adelaide win it again. Sean Burgoyne. Well, they're overdue to win a tight one. Burgoyne for Motlop. Comes out, can't take it. And Bowden.
Joel Bowden. He's had his knock markers. He's taken 23 marks today. He's had 38 disposals.
Before that he had my vote, but he's definitely got it now.
Out wide, Patterson. Tigers out of the danger zone for the moment with Newman. He's got a man on as well, Tambling.
He just needs to milk the clock here, Richard Tambling.
Well, again, the team without the ball needs to man up.
Well, they need to get on an opponent, and I don't mean standing off an opponent 10 metres and saying you're on him like this.
Lovelock's just done it again.
You need to be on your opponent.
Slack it is, it's slack.
Time is going to beat them. Richmond are going to hold on in a titanic struggle, and for the first time since August 2006, the Tigers win back-to-back games. It was a tremendous contest. Port Adelaide brave in defeat, but in the final analysis, it's Richmond 20 goals 7, 127. Port Adelaide 19-9, 123.
Well, I was going to say, John, the thousands of, I guess, Port Power fans who failed to come today, and I don't know whether that was the difference, it might have lifted them over the line, but if you stayed away today, you missed, even in defeat, you missed a magnificent performance by a team that's been undermanned, demoralised by their lack of last quarter performances, and while I admire what Richmond's done, and they deserve Pickers to win the game, there's no doubt about that. Port Adelaide, with the personnel, they couldn't access at the finish. One Burgoyne, one Corns running around on one leg. I thought it was a magnificent effort by the Port boys to get as close as they did.
Let's get down to Rowan Smith. I think he might have with him the man who took the match-saving mark, Joel Bell.
Well, Joel, right at the end, mate, you're a very relieved man.
Yeah, very relieved, Rowan. We played well. I thought we converted when we had the wind, and the power came back. All credit to them, they played well, but we're lucky to just hold on in the end.
9 goals in the first quarter, it really set you up, didn't it?
Yeah, it's a good start. It was a good start. They've been under a little bit of pressure, and it was nice for our boys to start like that and to continue on. 20 goals is a good effort, and very good kicking by Cleve Hughes, who kicked very well.
He is a brilliant young player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a lot of talent. He showed very good hands, and I think kicking him from 50-odd metres is a great talent.
Started the last quarter, you had a good lead, and then they started to come back to you. When did you think that you really had the game?
Oh, just about 30 seconds ago, Rowan. It was a very tight game, and well done to our players and well done to the power players. I think it was a good spectacle.
And yourself, you've been under the pump a little bit, but today you were outstanding, mate. Going back and just playing your normal role.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure, but that's what footy's about, you know. You've got to go out there and you've got to perform, so hopefully I can get back to some good form and help the team get a few more wins.
Well done, congratulations, go and enjoy the boys.
Thanks, Rowan.
Well, it's his 30th birthday today, Joel Bowden. 39 disposals, 23 marks, one short of the record since 1991. It was a dominant display, but forget the numbers. It was the mark that he took in the dying seconds that saved the game to get the Tigers across the line.
And I'm not sure whether that's been listed as a contested mark, I should say, because he had 23 marks, 21 uncontested, 2 contested. But if that wasn't listed as contested, it should have been. That was a brilliant mark. He played terrifically well today. He mentioned Cleve Hughes, he kicked 6. Mitch Morton kicked 5. So, gee, they were really good today, the Tigers. They deserve to win, Parker. Whilst I agree with you, Port Adelaide deserve a lot of credit for the way they finished the game off. They led at every change. They jumped out of the blocks. Sensational effort by the Tigers.
Well, yes,
today.
remember what they came here. I think they'd won 1 out of 6 here, the Tigers. So that makes it 2 over a long period of time. Just sad that Port couldn't break. I'm an admirer of what they've done the last couple of years. So they would go home bitterly disappointed. But the Tigers were the better side.
Port Adelaide have lost 5 games by 2 goals or less this season. It's Richmond who prevail here in a thriller by 4 points.